Hello and welcome to another ALA Publisher Spotlight special. And this time we are with author Diane Zahlor of the MARVELWOOD Magicians. And so this is a brand new audiobook coming from Live Oak Media. And Diane, welcome. We're so glad you could join us today.
Oh, well, thanks for having me from home.
Hey, this is the way life is right now, right? So if you see a tail of a cat come into my screen, it's just the way it is.
Yeah, and if you hear my dog barking furiously, that means that the UPS guys come to the door. So,
you know, I think I've heard that a lot from people who are working from home right now. The MARVELWOOD Magicians don't really have a home as such. I don't want to be a spoiler until the end. But tell us a little bit about the book and how you came to write it, and then we'll talk about the audio.
Okay. Yeah, the MARVELWOODs don't have a real home. They move from place to place in a wagon, and they go to carnivals and to circuses wherever they can get work. They all have special talents, and they try to find places that can use them and that they will make a little money with, but they never have a settled place. The kids don't really go to school. They're home taught. Their mother teaches them, and Maddie Marvelwood, who is the main character, really wants a home. She wants people who she can be friends with, and she doesn't have to leave them. She wants to go to school. She just wants to be settled in a way that she never has been in her entire life. So the Marvelwoods meet up with Master Moro's Circus of Wonders, and they find a group of people who they really like. They settle in with the circus. They spend the summer with them, but they discover that not all is as it seems on the surface. And the circus people who get to know them discover that with the Marvelwoods, not all is as it seems either.
That's right, because this is an interesting twist on magic. Usually when you see the word magician, you think it's somebody who's really just accomplished it sleight of hand. But that's not necessarily the case with the MARVELWOOD Magicians, is it?
No, the Marvelwoods' talents are very special, and they're all different. Each one has a very different thing that they can do, and the thing is that they really can do them, and you learn that very early on, so it's not a spoiler in the book.
Yeah.
But the Marvelwoods need to keep their talents secret, and what happens when other people start to find out about them is the crux of the plot.
So did you do much research as you were working on this book? I know sometimes you travel when you're researching your books.
I do, but I didn't for this one. It's set in the United States. It's set in the present, so I didn't have any foreign settings to deal with. I didn't have any historical information to deal with, but I did do a lot of research on circuses. And I learned circus terms, and I learned, what happens when you set up and break down a circus. It was pretty interesting. None of this stuff I knew anything about when I started.
Well, it really shows when you're listening to the book, as I did, that you did the research. It feels so real. So let's talk a little bit about the audiobook. This is by Live Oak Media.
It is.
It's a wonderful audiobook producer, and they've done several books that have gone on to win Odyssey Awards and even Grammys. So how did your book come to Live Oak Media?
Well, it came there because the owners, Arnie and Deborah Cardillo, are old friends of mine, and they've always been great supporters of my work ever since I started publishing children's books, because what Live Oak does is all children's books. So they do picture books, they do middle grade, they've even done, I think, a couple of YAs, and they do the audio versions. The first books that I did, the publisher kept the audio rights for themselves, so Deborah and Arnie couldn't get involved with that. But with the Marvelwood and with the previous book, Baker's Magic, they were able to get the rights to do the audio version, and they have done just a beautiful job with it. I'm so pleased with it, and it's so much fun to have somebody that you're friends with and really well working on your stuff with you.
And they've done several middle grade books. I think people tend to think of Live Oak Media as a powerhouse in read-alongs, and they are, but they also have these wonderful middle grade novels, and yours is the most recent one. So have you listened to it yet? Is this something you've already done?
I have, of course.
Yeah. What did you think of Sarah Zimmerman's narration?
I think she's amazing because there are a lot of accents in this book. You have the main character's father, Da, who is Scottish, And Master Morrow is also Scottish. She does these 2 Scottish accents, and she manages to make each one different, which is enough of a challenge. But then we have Maddie's mother, who is from India. And you have 5 Hungarian quintuplets who have Hungarian accents. You have Ahmad, who is Sumatran, and she manages to hit all of these accents beautifully and still, you know, keep the suspense going, make everybody sound completely different. I think it's an incredible challenge, and I think she just rises to it perfectly.
Does. So are you an audiobook fan yourself? Are you somebody who enjoys listening to with others?
I tend not to listen to books. I tend to want, you know, the book in my hand, to read the pages myself. And when I'm in the car, when it would be a normal time to listen to an audiobook, sometimes we do, but more often I just put on the radio and crank it up as loud as it'll go.
Anything to stay awake when you're driving, I'm sure.
Absolutely, yeah. And I'm afraid also that I will get too entranced in an audiobook when I'm driving, and I might just, you know, go off the road or whatever, not be able to pay enough attention to what I'm doing.
That could be a danger with Marvelwood Magicians, but for the target audience, I don't think so, because they can't drive yet.
Right. They could be sitting in the back seat and not bothering their parents. So, you know,
There you
it's all
go.
good.
This is a perfect book for road trips. So
I think it would be really fun for a road trip, because the Marvelwoods are on sort of a permanent road trip themselves.
Yeah, and it's a family setting, and everyone's got the annoying little brother and the parents who don't understand them, and
of course
different issues going on, and then the longing for a best friend. So this is a, yes, an exotic setting, but it's real kid problems that everybody could experience or remember experiencing.
Well, I'm glad you see it that way, because that is really what I was trying for. I wanted to take people who seem very real and put them in kind of an unreal situation, so that you have some of both. Because I think that kid listeners, kid readers would really find that intriguing.
Great. Well, thank you so much for taking some time on this beautiful summer day. At least it's beautiful here, and telling us about your audiobook experience with the Marvelwood Magicians, and a bit about how you came to write it and your connection with Live Oak Media. So thanks so much. And if you'd like to win a copy of the Marvelwood Magicians, then be sure to register here at the ALA Publisher Spotlight site, and we'll get you into the hopper for that. So thanks again, Diane. I hope you have a great day, and can't wait to read it and listen to the next book.
Oh, thanks so much for having me. Bye-bye.